So, what do you think of the Balls from Ellwood show?
You think I'm gay? You think I'm a gay little boy, huh? You think I'm a gay little boy who likes daddy, huh? You think I like men?
You're done.
So, what do you think of the Balls from Ellwood show?
I beg your pardon?
So, what do you think of the Balls from Ellwood show?
Sorry, what?
Balls.
Your microphone's not even plugged in.
So, what do you think of the Balls from Ellwood show?
Are you kidding me?
My entire household loves Balls from Ellwood show.
Balls from Ellwood. It's a good show. Come watch it with me under the sheets. Put a piece of you inside of me, and we can make it last all night long. Don't be afraid to go all the way. Let me take your virginity. Yeah.
Hey now, this is Balls from the Future. Always remember, if you point at somebody, the wife wakes you up by spreading her ash cheek. So remember to hit him with Howard Stern's penis.
Love mommy.
You know, I hope there's always three fingers. I just want to wish you a very happy birthday, Balls. You should always... you should always not focus on fighting the past, but always remember Howard Stern's penis. To you all, and peace and love. Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show, and it is in fact the holiday season. We're going to do a little holiday show here for you, talk about some holiday stuff, but first off, the most important thing, we got some reviews I haven't got to touch on because we've been gone for a bit, but we're back, so don't worry about that. We have a incredible guest this week. I interview the band Mold, the band, and they also have a little sketch comedy thing called Film School, but we'll talk about that later. We'll introduce you to those cats later. Xtina, how the hell are you?
I'm doing all right, boss. I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
In case you guys are tuning in for the first time, this is my ride or die Xtina. I'm Balls. We do a little show every week. We like to talk a little bit about horror movies. We like to talk about ska, punk, topical stuff. This girl likes to talk about true crime and whatever else we see fit. We might talk to some people here and there. So I want to start off. I've been dying, chomping at the bit to give my review, and I know it's already hit over $200 million worldwide.
Cha-ching!
I was completely, I was hoping, praying. 30, I think it was 32 some years ago. I had been waiting for this cats, and I was hoping it wouldn't disappoint. I even set myself up for disappointment because I didn't believe that it was possible to give me what I finally want. And I have to say, Jason Reitman, you are my new Saturday night thing. I can't thank you enough for making this fat guy happy. Well, I'm of course talking about. What am I talking about, XT?
You are talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
That is right. How many years have I drove you crazy about this film coming out?
Ever since I've known you, so 5 whole years.
So, that being said, I'm going to get right into it. Here's the quick review. There's no sense of me even going. I got so much stuff to talk about this film. I don't even have to give you... Here's my quick review. I loved it from the very beginning frame to the very end frame, which there is 2 after-credit sequences you're not going to want to miss. Not going to spoil it, but I love this picture in every single way. There's so many deep dives and homages and fan service and heart and everything that I could have possibly ever wanted in a Ghostbusters film. And the best part about it is, if you haven't seen it yet, you're not going to have to wait too much longer. January 4th on Vudu. January 11th on iTunes and Prime. And the Blu-ray in 4K is coming out in the second week of February. I still want to go to the theater, and it is a kind of it's a different thing in theater. We went to the IMAX, went to the regular theater. I still plan on going at least one or two more times before it comes out in video. But that being said, I'd like to talk about a bunch of Easter. I mean, let's talk a little bit about Xtina admittedly is not so much a big Ghostbusters fan, but what did you think of it? Going in that like you're not even that really into it was,
right. But I think it's because I don't know, even though I grew up in the 80s, I wasn't a movie goer in the 80s, so I think 80s films are hard to resonate with me for some reason. I don't know why, but it just never really blew my skirt up, as Balls says. But this one, it blew my skirt up for sure. Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah, it was good stuff, and even had some emotion in it that. Even I got emotional, even though I'm not that emotionally attached to the movie. So it was, really, really well done. Excellent job by Ivan Reitman's son. And of course, who else could have done it?
Well, he grew up on the set of the original Ghostbusters, and this idea, he said since he was a little kid, he always had an idea of this little girl with a proton pack, and that was the very seedling of an inkling of an idea, and that happened 30-some years ago when he was a kid. And he always had that idea in his head. And I never knew this until a few weeks ago. I didn't realize he was the bratty yuppie kid in Ghostbusters 2 that makes fun of him. Again, but it's him and his dad worked on it. It was a passion project, a love, and you could tell how much passion, how much heart he had for this project. It went to the right person, and just I got just the last act. It all it all builds up to the last act. Of course, you want to see the OG Ghostbusters, and I get goosebumps even talking about it. So. But I was mentioning before, there was so many deep dives, fan service, Easter eggs, so much, to the people that's waiting and fans of this film. I just wanted to quickly go through some of them. There's probably at least hundreds, but these are my favorite. I want to go through probably the first, I think I have 7 or 18.
7 or 18?
There's, honestly, there's probably hundreds.
Yeah,
it's amazing that there's so much in this film.
Right.
It blows my mind. I can't tell you how much but here's the thing. Let's just get right started. In the very beginning of the film, it all centers around Egon Spengler's family after he passes away. So you have young Phoebe. She's pretty much Egon. She's super smart. In her bedroom in the beginning, if you look very closely, she's rewiring something in the room. If you look on her dresser, you will see a straightened part of a slinky, which of course reference back to original line Egon Spengler, where they asked him, where he tells his family never believed in toys because he was smart and he said my parents gave me a slinky once, but I straightened it. So that's, if you look real closely on her, she did the same thing. So I thought that was a pretty cool deep dive. If you go, whenever you first see Egon's, I don't know, I guess secret lair or where he's working at, they show real quickly shelves, and there's all these little containers on it, and that actually goes back to Janine asks him in the first Ghostbusters, she's like, I'm in the racquetball and this and that, what are your hobbies? And he's like, I collect mold, spores, and fungus. Well, that's what they are. So that's another deep dive to the original film, which I think is funny. Whenever Phoebe's going through, she finds her grandpa's Ghostbusters outfit. In the pocket is a Nestle Crunch bar, which is also a really, really deep dive to a scene in the first movie where Venkman goes to give Egon as a reward for I can't even remember what it was for. I think it was for being serious or something. And he gives him the Nestle Crunch bar and says, "You earned it." And that was in his pocket, which that's amazing. And if you find, whenever they first find the Ecto in this movie, there's a Twinkie in the glove box, which is a direct reference to Egon explaining how proportional the pair of supernatural is going to get whenever they start taking over the town. And of course, Winston says that's a big Twinkie, so that's a reference to that. So here's one of my favorites that nobody's caught yet. The mini puffs are surely probably most everybody's probably favorite thing, and they're adorable. But there is a scene, if you look real closely, where one's running across the charcoal grill. And he starts to melt and disintegrate down into the charcoal grill, and he gives the thumbs up. That is a direct reference to the end of Terminator 2, whenever they lower Arnold Schwarzenegger down into the... I mean, wow. I mean, not only is there references to so much other of the Ghostbusters film, there's references to other films too, which is
crazy.
It's crazy. I have to give a humongous... I can't even believe that Olivia Wilde was Gozer in this. And I have to actually say... she was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought in a million years, like I'd heard rumors that perhaps that could happen, and I'm like, ooh. Mm-hmm. But man, she blew me away. The costume design blew me away. It's pretty amazing. So, I mean, but here's my favorite one out of this whole list. I'm going to try to speed this up. I mean, I don't want to bore you guys to death. You know how much I love that stuff. But Phoebe's shirt in Ghostbusters Afterlife, through the whole thing, if you look very closely and you zoom in, there's all these little symbols on her little dress shirt. If you zoom in on them, the cards in the beginning of the original Ghostbusters that Peter Venkman would use to do his experiment, and he would shock all the male participants and not shock the female participants, are all the symbols of the cards that he used in that experiment. If you zoom in, there's like the wavy lines. There's the circle. It's mind blowing. I can't even believe that. So, and I've heard a lot of nerds on the internet going, "Oh, Ghostbusters 2 isn't canon," and blah blah blah, and there's no reference. If you look in Egon's farmhouse, on the shelf, you'll actually see the toaster from Ghostbusters 2 that they put the mood slime in that dances to "Your Love Is Lifting Me." So,
Oh my gosh.
you'll see symmetric stacked books in Egon's farmhouse, which is directly from the library of the original opening film. There's numbers painted all over Egon's house, and actually mimicked. Are actually at Gozer's lair, and they all show the years that Gozer's tried to transcend into this world, and they're painted all over. So that's the symbol. The symbolism of that. That's crazy. You'll see a Bible verse when you first pull into Egon's farmhouse. It's Revelation 6:12. That's a direct reference to a scene with Ray and Winston at at the conclusion of the first Ghostbusters, almost, where they're busy. There's all the ghosts start taking over the town, and they think it's because the world's ending, and that's a reference to the Bible verse Revelation 6:12. In this movie, that's all over there. And if you notice Ray in Ray's Occult Books, you can see his arm. He even has a tattoo of Revelation 6:12, and that's directly where that's from. So, a couple more things before I put you guys to sleep. In the diner in Ghostbusters Afterlife, there's a real cool, ghost that looks like a real skeletal. That was a direct homage to the taxi ghost from the first Ghostbusters. You see a new ghost in this one. It's like a Cyclops, and it's purple, which was... it was from the real Ghostbusters toy line that they made, and he actually modeled that ghost off of that, which I thought was super cool. I mean, that's a really big throwback. I mean, they even took like the special effects in the negatives from the original film to make the ghost trails in this film, and they used as many conventional effects as possible, and they used as many. They scanned all the effects from the original, and they used as painstakingly as much as they could, and tried to not use as much as regular CGI as like stuff and effects they used from the original too, which I think is neat. You'll notice a lot of music cues, a lot of things that you heard in the first movie. They use that a lot too. The mountain at Shandor Mining Company is an homage to Devil's Tower and the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's crazy. But enough about that, cats. All I'm trying to say is, don't miss this movie. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, and really, even if you're not
Even
a
if you're
Ghostbusters
not,
fan,
it's still
you might still enjoy it.
It's a fantastic film. To be
I
honest.
honestly, I think it's a film that you could just have fun with your whole family. I mean, her daughter, my stepdaughter, I would say she's not a humongous fan, but she digs Ghostbusters, and she's seen it twice with me. She loved it. So, Ball's review is, it was worth the wait. So, Jason Reitman, you were my spirit animal. And thank you for making middle-aged men like me cry all over the world. So, that being said, let's move on, cats. It is Christmas time, and there is a lot of things that I like to do and drive Xtina crazy with my kooky holiday traditions. I introduced her this year to a all-time Christmas favorite of mine, the most beloved Christmas slasher and notorious Christmas slasher there is. You might know it as Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know it as an American classic. I want to give you a quick rundown of things that I like to watch traditionally every year. If I miss any Xtina, throw in things that you like, because I'm sure you have some normal things that you like to inject. But my list is a little kooky. So starting off with, I like to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2. Everything else after that, it's not so much. I even like the reboots. Silent Night, that's it's kind of a different thing, but it's still pretty good. As Jamie King in it. I absolutely love it. If you see one zombie Christmas musical in your life, make sure it's Anna and the Apocalypse. I love it. It has everything. It has it's fun. It has heart. It's touching. It has gore. It's like Shaun of the Dead, and Glee has a butt baby. So that's all I can say. I absolutely love it. It's not Christmas without Anna and the Apocalypse for me. I just got for $12.99 from I think I'm gonna give them a plug. Second Sight. On the internet, they had a sale for the holidays, and it's all region, 2-disc, comes with director's cut, and a bunch of features, and the original theatrical cut. You can't beat that. So I don't know I think it's still going on, but you want to check that out. The original Bob Clark's Black Christmas. Boy, a lot of people don't know the dude that did A Christmas Story. Before he did that, was a horror director, and he did Black Christmas. He did Children Shouldn't Play Dead Things. He did all kinds of cool stuff. So, but I mean, I've always been a fan of his even before A Christmas Story, and I like to watch A Christmas Story when she's not around, because Xtina hates A Christmas Story. In fact, she's the only person in the world I've ever met that hates A Christmas Story.
Absolutely hate.
But
it makes my blood boil.
I think she has PTSD, but I mean, it's hard to say.
It's a long story.
I get it. Long story. We won't get into that. Oh, technical difficulties.
It's called Sphinx Cat difficulties.
I absolutely love Elf with Will Ferrell.
Oh yes,
I think that's a
too. In fact, I only saw that for the first time 3 years ago because I refused to watch it because I hate Will Ferrell, and but I watched it and I love it. Absolutely love it. In fact, I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like Will Ferrell and they love the Elf movie. So if you,
how did you even come up? Was I just watching it one night and you got sucked into it?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Well, I mean, self-admittedly, Will Ferrell hasn't made some good choices in films, so I mean, I can see how people would not appreciate that. But Christmas Vacation, which, hey, Chevy Chase is coming to the next Steel City Con, and the next Steel City Con, cats, is going to be epic.
It is going to be epic.
There's the first string is announced. Chevy Chase, Bernthal, Robert England,
Nancy,
Heather Langenkamp, your girl,
Hayden Panettiere.
How do you say that?
I think it's Panettiere.
That always reminds me of a shampoo.
I know, like Pantene, but it's
Pantene.
Panettiere. I think that's it.
Not to mention a bunch of other people. So I actually just got the pleasure of meeting Peter Weller and Ronnie Cox from RoboCop. You know how much I love RoboCop, cats, if you watch this show regularly. There's a cool anthology where William Shatner is actually a DJ, and he's like a wraparound, and they're talking about people are calling in and telling their horror stories during Christmas, and that's always a Christmas horror story. That's cool. If you don't mind subtitles and you like a really cool, Santa Claus movie, Rare Exports, like they're excavating and they find like these killer Santa Clauses, and like it's a really cool flick, man. I mean, I don't really want to tell you too much, but it's a little different than that. It'll tell you too much, but And then you got movies where people try to say that they're not Christmas movies, but in my heart, they surely are. Die Hard is surely a Christmas movie. I don't care what anyone says. As is Gremlins, as is, I like to watch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians on Mystery Science Theater. What would Christmas be without It's a Wonderful Life?
A Wonderful Life, huh?
We watch Krampus. I just watch Edward Scissorhands, which I consider a Christmas movie. Emma Daughter's Jug Band Christmas. I'm the only one that likes that in this house. Everyone else thinks it's stupid. I think that's nostalgia. I grew up on it, and I just
that's probably why.
I always grew up on it, and then I don't realize how shitty it is. But I mean, I love it. Better Watch Out. That's all.
Oh, we should watch that.
That's one that I think really kind of goes under the radar, cats, and it's one that you really can't tell you too much about it.
But it is a horror. It's more of a horror movie, but it does take place at Christmas.
Trust us, it's a good Christmas horror story. And I always love to watch Tales from the Crypt all through the house. That's my, one of my favorites. And speaking of Tales from the Crypt, I subjected Xtina the other day to one of my favorite Christmas CDs of all time.
Oh, brother.
The Tales from the Crypt and CD, Have Yourself a Scary Little Christmas. And the Crypt Keeper sings all kinds of demented songs about Christmas. And people probably wonder, what do we listen to for Christmas? I personally get so sick of all the same Christmas standards. And Hippopotamus and Mariah Carey. She can eat shit. I hate Mariah Carey. I can't stand all that regular Christmas crap. So, I mean, I'm usually listening to, like, punk and ska and different things, so, like the Vandals. And when Aquabats just put out a new Christmas CD. You Love Real Big Fish's Christmas CD.
It's really good.
Happy Scaladays.
Gotta love a Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, yeah, for
God
sure.
Rest You Merry Gentlemen.
Run DMC, Christmas and Hollis. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, boy.
And the Vandals, Oi to the World. But that being said, before I let her take over and do her, Depravity Corner, I watched two things real quickly. Actually, she watched one of them with me. And Bruce Campbell back-to-back, I'd like to talk about. First of all, Bruce Campbell, as you know, retired as Ash. He can no longer play Ash anymore. He said he's not physically fit to do so. So now he is doing Hallmark movies. So I can't even remember what one December night or something.
So we decided to suffer through.
Everybody knows how much we love Bruce, and I decided to just suck it up and support my boy. And
it's rough.
Boy, it's pretty bad. So,
it's really bad.
I mean,
it's so bad.
And I was double disappointed because I was super looking forward to this movie called Black Friday.
Yeah.
And the trailer looked great. The cast looked great. Everything looked great. And guess what was great? Everything they showed you in the trailer. Because what a steaming pile of shit that was. The only thing that I thought was cool is the effects were really, really good. I really wish it had potential though, man. It kind of sucks. I just wish they would have had a better script and maybe, it could have really been something. But it was kind of disappointing. And, I don't know what else to say. I think I've zoned on long enough, Xtina. I think I should turn the reins of this sleigh over to you. So.
I see what you did there.
Do you have some depravity for us?
Oh boy, do I ever! Don't I always? Come on.
Well, yeah, but
I've been actually dying to talk to you about this.
It's been a minute, so maybe I actually would like to hear some depravity.
Maybe you're ready.
Week.
Maybe you're ready. But I don't know. Hold on to your reins. It's gonna be rough. Gosh, where do you even... I don't even know where to begin.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
So, there are people in this world who, have, I guess, some issues and depression and mental health problems. And, don't we all to some degree? Sure. But, some of us get that under control. And you would think that someone who is a nurse by trade would get that under control. But apparently, Raji Black from Baltimore, I think that's how you say it, Raji. Yeah, Raji. Thank you. he was a nurse, an anesthesiology nurse, and his ex-wife was a nurse, and his current girlfriend was a nurse, and apparently he doesn't date much outside of his workplace, I'm guessing, so that's an issue maybe? I don't know. Either way, hey, at least, you know, you're like professional people with decent jobs, supposedly, you know, fairly intelligent, right? Well, Raji has 2 young children with his ex-wife, who he was driving around with in the car, and he decided to go visit his now ex-girlfriend, because apparently the girl who was pregnant with his baby had enough of his shit and decided to break up with him, but she wanted a baby, so she wasn't willing to get rid of the baby, so she thought, well, maybe I can find an escape plan, and she was actually trying to plan a means to get across the country to get away from him and raise her child alone. That's how horrible, apparently, and abusive this man is. His ex-wife, we come to find out, had tried for several years to get protection from abuse orders against him, even though he threatened her multiple times. They wouldn't give it to her. He has, again, 2 small children with her. So he makes a chilling video. I'm going to try to share it with you and Balls at the same time.
Me and really knows what's going on. Thank you all. I've been going through a custody battle. I've been going through having my ex-wife say I molested my children and all kinds of craziness. Been fighting for custody for 3 years. So, you know, shit has been real crazy. What's up, Oliver? You know about this. Going through it with my ex-wife, blah, blah, blah. So, me, you know, started dating somebody new, and she got pregnant, and, you know, we got in a fight. First thing she does is threatening that she's going to do the same thing. You're never going to see your kids, blah, blah, blah. It's the holidays, man. I don't have no family, nothing. Anyway, I just did something crazy, man. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head, yo. Felt like a dream. Like, I never thought I would be that guy. I can't go to prison, so the person that really started my depression and all of this is my ex-wife. So she next, and then I'm going to do myself too. But I just wanted to say this to people. Don't play with people's emotions, man. Don't lie on these men. Oh, here's my ex-wife right here. Today's the day.
Today's the day. And he shot her and then shot himself right then and there. How calm was that man? How calm was that man for a man who just committed murder and killed his potential baby mama and killed his other baby mama? And if Balls is already gasping for air, you ready for this? The kids were in the fucking car. The kids were in the car. They didn't see anything. According to news reports, they were, I guess, far enough away from this happening. But I mean, at some point, I'm sure they got out of the car and they were like, well, where'd Dad go? You know? Okay, 2 things here. First of all, that's all I saw at first was this man. And I'm understanding that, okay, his ex-wife is claiming that he molested his children and she's taken him through this horrible custody battle. And, you know, if that's true and he didn't molest his children and she's claiming that he did, that's pretty horrible. But, of course, you know, there's 2 sides to every story. And as Xtina does, when these crazy things happen, I go out and find the rest of the story. And luckily, these 2 young, lovely young ladies had wonderful friends, seemingly had wonderful friends, who made beautiful posts about them and their lives on Facebook and things. And these were wonderful professional women. They were very much mentally and occasionally physically abused by this man. So he's full of shit. Yeah, maybe he is depressed. He did have issues. I mean, somebody else did say, yeah, he absolutely did have depression. But that doesn't excuse that. And even if he was accused of molesting his kids and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't give you a license to kill anybody. And the fact that he was just so calm and was like, today's the day. Just gonna go do this today. I got an errand to run. How does one do that? Balls, do you have an answer? Fucking crazy, right? Look at you. You're terrified. It's terrifying how fucking calm he is.
I know. I think that's probably the most disturbing part about it. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly thought every week I'm always thought I'm prepared for this shit. And you blow my fucking mind. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like, I never met somebody so nonchalant. It was like he was just going to get an Egg McMuffin at McDonald's, you know?
Right.
He's just like,
That's what I said. I'm like,
yeah,
he's
shit.
acting like he's running an errand. I gotta go get butter, and then the next, I gotta make sure I got the cake mix. Yeah, the cake mix. No, it's the ex-girlfriend and the ex-wife, and gotta make sure they're dead. And I can't go to jail because I can't handle that. So I'm gonna make sure I do myself too. What?
wow, that's... I tell you what,
Just the calmness. And here's what's fucked up. So he made that video on Facebook Live. There obviously wasn't enough time. I mean, I think word did spread. He drove a half hour from when he killed the first girl to the ex-wife's house. Word did spread, and they did try to warn her or get police to the ex-wife's place to protect her, but there just wasn't enough time, unfortunately. And, again, falls on the court system. She tried for years to get a PFA against him. Not that a PFA does any good. It's a piece of fucking paper. So would it have mattered? Not really, but that's not the point. I mean, and why did this man have custody of his kids? I mean, that's another thing that irritates the crap out of me. Like, I know a girl, and I won't give any names, obviously, but, she has an ex-husband, and he's not a good person, and he manipulated her and, abused her mentally. I don't know so much physically, but still. And he basically, left her and her daughter when she was a baby, and all of a sudden he wants, to be around this kid who's 12 now, and she wants nothing to do with him because she doesn't even know him. But the court says you got to try and be a parent, you got to be with your parents. So she's like, this kid is forced to go spend time with this man who's a stranger to her. And to me, that's just, that breaks my heart.
well, that shows how fallible our court system is.
Yeah.
Especially in this case that you just showed me.
Yeah.
Like, how would the court system deem it okay to go have these kids stay with a potential chicken licker? Like, I mean, I don't even understand. Like,
Yeah.
if they know that's going on, why would you place them with him or not get them out of that situation?
Right.
So
Right.
it just goes to show you what a joke it really
Well,
is.
and again, here's the thing, though. He, on paper, he sounds great. He's an anesthesiology nurse. He has a degree, college degree, college educated, good worker, blah, 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 I mean, so it is hard for people to say, oh, yeah, that guy's a piece of shit, because on paper, he sounds good, which sucks, whereas, if he was a druggie or he was this, it still doesn't work as good. But people still would definitely favor this guy over the druggy guy. You know what I mean? That's true. They do.
It's like, gets a lot of mileage out of that.
You are judged on your status in society, and
Yeah, no matter what people think, that's totally true.
So, I don't know, but
well, this just goes to show you that there is lots of holly and joy and Santa, but there's always that dark, depressing, fucked up side of Christmas too.
yeah,
It's the most depressing time of the year. Suicide rates are the most high.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it makes the good times all the more to be appreciated. Because
right,
tell you what, Christmas has a dark side too.
right. But check yourself,
Before you riggedy wreck yourself.
That's right. But I mean, I get stressed. We all get stressed out. It's not supposed to be like that. Christmas isn't about spending all this money. I mean, yeah, sure, I would love to give everybody a gift. I would love that, but I can't. I know I can't afford that. So you do got to check yourself, and you got to reel it in, reel yourself in. Sometimes it's not the end of the world if your kid doesn't get that, PS5 or whatever the big hot toy is. It's not the end of the world. They're gonna live. You know, I didn't get the Cabbage Patch for 2 years, and my neighbor got 2 or 3. How do you think I felt? I'm still here to talk about it. I didn't take the bridge, you know. I might have wanted to, but I didn't take the bridge. It's not worth it, man. Don't kill yourself over a Cabbage Patch.
That's the moral of this whole
That's the moral of the
story.
story. There we go. So, another fine Depravity Corner. People, quit killing people. Quit killing your ex. Get a divorce. Walk away. You're killing me. Killing me inside.
Killing her softly.
Yes, not softly.
Killing her hardly.
I guess. Oy. Anywho,
cats, from the Balls from Ellwood show, I figured we'd end on a completely, crippling and Christmas ruining moment. So there you have it.
well,
I'll tell you who will, from the Balls from Ellwood show, in all honesty, though, I really like to joke around and shit, but from the Balls from Ellwood show, we would like to say a very Merry Christmas to you cats, and thank you for tuning in. And if you're feeling a little blue now, I got some cats that will actually cheer you up. I just interviewed some real funny guys, Mold the band. As you've seen from the beginning, these cats did an all-new, brand-new intro to the show. They're fans of mine. They reached out and they said, you know what, we like the beginning of your show, but you've used it for so long. We need to do a brand new one for you. And it was the original song. They went out, they filmed this, they edited it. I think it's personally hysterical.
Yeah, hey, they did their thing, and we appreciate it.
So we appreciate that. Thank you, guys. I've never been more honored doing this show. I think you guys are super funny. I'm excited for everybody to see this interview, so stick around. And then also at the very end, I'm going to put up links. Check out their brand new album, What the Duck, and check out Film School, their sketch comedy troupe on YouTube. They have a channel, and they're pretty funny. So let's check these guys out, and peace and love, cats. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
And to all a good night. Hey now, cats, we're back again on the Balls from Ellwood show, and this week I have some very special guests. We got a great new band I'd like to introduce you to, and this is what my show's about. Fuck ratings, fuck everything. I don't care about how many viewers I get. The whole reason I started this show was to turn people on to music you might not hear every day, to film you might not hear every day. So if there's even one person that watches this and enjoys it, my job is done. I want to introduce you to a great new band you're going to want to check out. I just got done listening to their new album, What the Duck. You could find it on YouTube, I believe, right now?
And Spotify.
Go on Spotify, go on YouTube, check it out right now. They got a great YouTube channel, Film School, where they have some sketch comedy. We'll talk about that later. I want to get right into the album here. Welcome, Mold. Welcome to the show there.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's an honor and a privilege to have you. I want to get right into it. How the hell do you guys come up with the name Mold? I'm curious.
Well, there's a bunch of different reasons. First reason is because I saw the word written with a U, which is how the British write it, and I thought, that's a great word. I love the sound. Mold. Like it really fills your mouth, and it's like an explosion of, great feeling.
It is memorable. It does stick with you. I think it's a great name. So.
Yeah, sticky. And another reason is because there's this other band where I'm from whose name is kind of similar to Mold, but not really. Like it's not a synonym for Mold or anything. It's just, it doesn't matter. I don't want to say the name, but I don't like the band that much. And Mold is also kind of a parody of their name. So
good.
Kind of tongue in cheek.
Well, fuck them guys. Whoever you're talking about, we don't like them either. So
damn right.
Fuck them. And you'd say you're from the Bay Area, correct?
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
You're from Ellwood?
I'm sorry, what was it?
And you're from Ellwood?
I am. Well, yeah, I mean, I am, yeah. But I actually kind of recently moved and bought a house, but and now I live in a place called Industry. But I still kept the moniker because I don't think Balls from Industry sounds all that exciting. So, I mean,
yeah.
And I've been calling Howard for almost over a decade now, and it just doesn't sound right. So I no longer live in Ellwood City technically, but, I just don't think the name sounds good. So, yeah, that's breaking news. You're the first people told that to. So, actually, nobody's ever asked. But let me ask you, were you folks into music growing up? Like, what were your influences then, and what were your influences now? Because I mean, I listen to the album and I hear like lots of influences from things that I actually grew up with and I actually really like. I hear a little Dead Milkmen, a little They Might Be Giants, a little bit. It's like a big eclectic mix of things that I think is really fucking cool. So I mean, I wanted to know like where were your influences from?
Actually, thanks for picking up on that. I tried really hard for people to notice those influences, but really, I think the biggest influence for me was just basic Weezer. Actually, Weezer was actually really big.
I could see that. I mean, it's such a I've listened to it a couple times already, and I love it. So like I was excited to talk to you cats because I want people to check it out, and just I'm excited for people to hopefully discover this album. I mean,
hopefully.
So many songs, and it's funny too. I mean, like Beat My Wife is funny. I mean, and people gotta have a fucking sense of humor too now, because nowadays, man, everybody's so fucking uptight. We live in a fucking time where comedians get, jousted for fucking telling jokes. People just gotta fucking lighten up. And this album is full of like tongue-in-cheek humor, and it's not to be taken serious. Like I can't. I can imagine sitting listening to that and getting all fucking butthurt because like, oh, we're talking about beating your wife or divorce. You're getting a divorce and your dad's running away with another dude, or I mean, but I mean, it's funny, it's great, it's catchy. I love it. But so I was excited for this today. I actually prepared for one, so I know we'll see how good it goes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what was your influences then, growing up, and what's your influences now? Are they any different from when you were younger?
Well, like we said, Weezer, but also you said They Might Be Giants. I've actually been compared to They Might Be Giants a couple of times. I was never that much of a fan of They Might Be Giants. Apparently.
Oh, see, I am incredible. I mean, that's not an insult at all. That's a high honor. I love them guys. I mean, I grew up on. In fact, I'm going to see they're doing Flood in its entirety sometime this year. And with the pandemic, I had tickets and that switched like 50 times. But I'm finally going to get to go see them again. But yeah, I mean, that's a compliment. Trust me.
Oh, okay, good. Well, yeah, that kind of stuff, and also like 80s punk. What's that called? I Wish I Was Dead. That's just the standard, punk chords, also called the blues chords, which, on that note, I feel like I have a whole range of inspirations. I can't really whittle it down because like I've got, 80s punk, 90s gangsta rap. I honestly feel that 30s vaudeville, even some futuristic stuff, because I've been getting into the techno jargon with the computers and all that. Just like a hodgepodge of sounds.
It's all over the place, and it just works so good. It's like I said, it's a eclectic mix of everything I love growing up, man. I mean, I wasn't actually I was in hip hop growing up. I was in the They Might Be Giants, Dead Note, and then I got into punk and ska as I got older. But it's just great, man. But what inspires you to write these songs? Like, do you just see something, you're like, oh, I could make a funny song, or that could do that? Where do some of these titles come from? Because it makes me wonder.
That's a good question. Yeah, if I think of something funny, I think, okay, let's see if I can write something about this. Like divorce, your father and I are getting a divorce. That literally came about because I was just having a session one day, like, okay, what's like a funny string of words? Your father and I are getting a divorce. All right, I'm going to start working on it. And then this is really rare. Sometimes I'll have to workshop songs, but for that song, it was just coming out of me. I felt like Mozart.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then sometimes songs take a really long time. Like I Beat My Wife. I've been writing that for like 2 years now. And I have a bunch of other versions that are like older than this one that were on my channel for a while. And like I always think, man, this could be better. I could fix this lyric, or I can make this work better, the flow and all that. It's like a big process.
Every time I hear I beat her with a ukulele, it makes me laugh.
Thank you.
Hey, let me ask you, how did the band come together? Like, how did everything come to fruition? Like, were you always like growing up, be like, hey, I'm going to be in a band, like, or you just met people and then it happened, or how's this work?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Well, first of all, the full name of the band isn't just Mold. It's actually Mold the Band. That's the whole title. Mm-hmm. And technically, I'm the only member. This is my buddy Eric. The only thing he did on the album he was on Toy Train, and he said,
oh, you want me to say the line right now?
Yeah.
All aboard.
That's not how you said it.
I'm not gonna. That's how. What?
All aboard! He said it like that.
Yeah.
And and my my buddy, my other buddy, he's on some of the tracks as well. He sung Ice Cream Man, the one about the pedophile.
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all? Right? This is music in the 21st century.
Jesus.
And so technically I'm the only member of the band, which is just me. But like I love to work with people, even if it's little things as that, or have someone sing a song that I write. I love working with people.
Now, will this always be a collaborative effort?
Yeah. I love that about both the music industry and film industry. Like it's great to work with people.
What would you do had you didn't have an interest in music, or you didn't have an interest in sketch comedy? What would be your interest otherwise? Porn star?
I've actually considered that. I'd say I'm more of a porn connoisseur than actor in that regard.
Like the James Lipton of porn. I got you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Lipton iced tea.
There you go. Right? That's your kind of fun.
Yeah.
Now, when you're working with people, like when you do collaborate, like you're saying, I mean, have you ever worked with people that you don't quite gel with? And like, how do you get past that?
You know what? I think I'm lucky enough to have not had that experience. Actually, that's not true. There have been people that I've tried to work with. It's only lasted like a day. We won't see eye to eye on things. They'll want to take the sound in a different direction than what I have planned, because like I said, some of these songs I've been working on for years, and they'll hear something I've been working on for years and be like, yeah, but what if we did this? As if I didn't spend years formulaically planning where everything should be. It gets kind of annoying, and it's almost demeaning, and usually when that happens, I'm like, okay, no, thank you. I don't want to work with you because clearly we're on different pages and you won't respect me for doing this thing that I've been working hard on.
Yeah.
So you have no problem telling people just like, fuck off, I can't work with you?
Well, I've never said that, but I've just never gotten back to them if they ever ask me to do something.
If you could collaborate with one musician, who would it be and why?
They have to be alive?
No.
Oh, okay.
Very well decaying right now, sure.
That's a good question. You know what? I haven't heard much from John Lennon in a while, and that's a good thing because I wouldn't want to work with him. But if I did have someone I wanted to work with.
After seeing that Let It Be on Disney Plus, I don't think I'd want to work with him either.
That's a good question. I haven't really thought of that. Do you have anyone you'd want to work with?
Larry the Cable Guy for sure. Number one pick probably.
Dude, I heard that guy. He could sing like an angel.
Yeah. He's got some pipes.
Yes. Has being in this band ever caused a detriment between somebody, say like a family friend, loved one,
Not yet. I honestly expect that it will, because the songs are pretty polarizing, to say the least. It can have people I know who don't know about the music look at me in a different way. Even though I've never been married, people will think I'm a domestic abuser, which is not true. I'm an international abuser. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, man. Geez. That's what I was saying earlier. I think it's funny how like people can attach a stigma to things when it's clearly a parody or at least a joke.
Satire, yeah.
Yeah, satire. It's just I don't like where this country's going with that, man. Like nobody can even tell jokes anymore without getting shit for it. So it makes your job incredibly harder, and anybody that's trying to make anybody laugh incredibly harder. So
yeah, they're always hard, everyone.
Let me let's talk a little bit about you said you have a sketch comedy troupe, film school. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, get up. Okay, so this is something that Eric here and I work on more than Mold the Band.
Not recently.
Well, not recently. There's been so much going on.
How did that start again?
Well, I had this other friend and they told me one day, my dream is to write for a sketch show like Saturday Night Live or Mad TV. And I said, that's great. I want to do that. Hey, let's do that. So them and I worked on some stuff, and we ended up having a bit of a falling out, creative differences and all that. So it was kind of put on hiatus for a few months. And then I met Eric through our mutual friend. And Eric kind of came up to me and said, hey, I heard you're doing film stuff. I kind of want you want to explain this?
I don't think we need to go into that much detail, but pretty much.
Anyway, 9 months later, we got married. We got some kid now.
Yeah. They're beautiful children.
Yeah.
That's not the Spider-Man origin story I was hoping for, but that's still pretty good, I guess. I would love to. I've always wanted to do that myself, man. But I mean, I live here in like Podunk, and nobody's interested in that kind of thing down here. You know, like I grew up on the Kids in the Hall and Mad TV, like you said, and I like The Whitest Kid You Know. Like, and pretty much any sketch comedy, I'm a sucker for. So I mean, I'm super digging that. So again, like with the music, like you pull ideas for sketch comedy just from like, you know, topical things you see every day, or you know, that's it would be harder to come up with than coming up with a song. Or what's harder, writing a music or writing a sketch for sketch comedy?
Definitely the sketch show for me.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, music for me is like easier because like I don't know how to explain this. So like one can train themselves musically to like be more musically talented, but like comedy really is its own hard skill that needs to be crafted and worked on. And there's not really like one way to do comedy in the same way that like, oh, here's how to play a C chord. Here's how to do a scale. Like those are definitive things. Comedy is so much more abstract.
Subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Too.
Is what one person might find funny, like two other people might either A, be offended, or B, be like, yeah, that's not funny. Fuck them guys, you know?
Exactly. And you know, there's only so much
them.
you can learn in comedy. Like there's nothing really definitive. So for me, it's music is easier just because there's like a layout for certain things.
Is there any topics that you would deem off limits in your sketch comedy?
In my sketch comedy, I'm going to say a few.
Can you name what they are?
Oh, like
I mean, probably blackface.
Blackface, yeah, that's off the table for us.
That's about it.
That's about it, I guess. Like rape jokes for us, anyway. But for other people, I say that there's no wrong way to do comedy whatsoever. Like, and especially like if someone can. I don't like rape jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Usually 9 times out of 10, they're not even like good, and from what I've seen. But like if someone can tell a good rape joke,
I think in all honesty, the only good rape joke I've ever heard was from Carlin. So I mean, other than that, yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
Yeah.
How do you feel on what's your stance on, you know, comedians being scrutinized for certain things? Do you think there's certain things that should be off limit to comedians?
Not at all. And you know what? From what I've seen recently, there are people who did stuff in the 80s that like they're just now getting slander for, and people aren't taking in the fact that that was okay back then and that it's a different time. And like when I see stuff like that, it's just terrible. But you know, nowadays, I'll have to admit, as we get more progressive as a society, there are things that we're starting to realize, okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we shouldn't have done it back then. But like even then, that was a different time. So as of now,
I'm glad you said that, because I think the biggest difference for me is like I grew up in them times, and I mean, I can see, like, I think the biggest difference is people back then or now, even if they make jokes like that, you could tell if they have that hatred in their heart and they're doing it to be, you know, to perpetuate, say, racism or anything negative. But back then, you know, it was a different time, and people was just trying to make fucking people laugh, you know, like nobody was really, you know, full of hate or had an agenda or any of that. And like, I think that's the biggest difference from then till now. And yeah, you know, I don't know. You can usually tell if you watch somebody or you listen to somebody, you know, kind of the caliber of their person. I kind of judge it from that. But I mean, yeah, that hit the nail on the head for sure. I mean, let me ask you this though, being that you've both, you have sketch comedy out there, you've been doing that, you've been writing music, you're doing things for a band. I always like to ask people, do you consider technology detrimental or positive for getting your music and your sketches out there nowadays. I mean, what do you think of that?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of old heads are like, hey, they're stealing this, they're stealing my music, and blah blah blah. You know, like I don't know. I think we're in such a different age that I mean, you almost need that tool to even get noticed. Because I mean, everybody has a walking movie studio, everybody has a walking recording studio, and I mean, you know, you have this tool at your disposal to get noticed. And I mean, if you're, you know, good and willing to get people's interest, I mean, that's, you know, priceless, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually wanted to ask you too. I'm sure you guys were doing all this during the pandemic. Did it affect, you know, you doing the stuff for the band, for the, you know, for the sketch comedy troupe? What did you guys do under quarantine?
We still worked at it, and we uploaded sketches that had us be in different rooms, and it makes sense. You know,
Kind of.
one of the early ideas for a sketch to do in the pandemic was to do like, you know, a phone call joke. That way it would make sense that we're in different rooms in different houses. But we ended up abandoning that idea. There's actually one video where we're supposed to be in the same room, but also like pretty much this distance apart from each other. He plays a lunch lady, I play a guy trying to order food. And we green screened it, and it looks terrible because we only green screened my part. And I'm in a cafeteria. He's in his own like living room. So it's not even like those places would be in the same room. So I guess in that regard, it's kind of difficult to do in the pandemic, but we still did it. And I think we had a good time. And the majority of our sketches were actually filmed during that. We have an award show that was filmed in the pandemic. And there's a bunch of different people who are supposed to be in a bunch of different rooms. And honestly, look, he edited it really well, but it's clearly sloppy there, you know, because
Well, that's kind of like the style.
I guess
I
that's
was just gonna say, I'll be honest with you. I like when I see stuff like that. I think it adds kind of a certain charm. Like when
exactly.
it's overly polished, I'm not like so much. I don't think it's as funny. So like, I think that's cool though. Like I think you should get into that. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you while you guys were trying to perform like a sketch, like for a sketch comedy?
Like something gone wrong?
Yes.
How about like when we were filming the burger joint and those middle schoolers?
Okay, do you want to tell the story?
I don't really know if it's a story, but I just remember them.
Okay, I'll tell it like a story. So we have one sketch where it takes place in a restaurant, and the punchline of the thing is the waiter comes up and he sprays whipped cream all over his face. I actually have that as a framed photo, him with whipped cream. Anyway, and these like 3 middle schoolers came up on bikes and scooters, and they started asking our camera guy for a hit of his vape. and obviously we refused because they're kids, but like they just kind of kept bothering us. So I went up to them and said, tell you what, if you leave us alone for 5 minutes, we'll give you a hit of the vape. Obviously, you know, talking out of my ass. And they left. So we got to doing the thing. And then they came back, and we had to run because they were going to get us.
They're going to beat us up.
Yeah. Middle schoolers are scary, dude.
Very scary.
It was a very awkward time. I totally remember that. So I get that for sure. I'm going to ask you some non-related questions to anything, if that's cool. Have you ever had a supernatural experience, either one?
Super. You mean like while filming?
Don't have to be about filming. While masturbating, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense.
Oh, in that case.
Because I actually, no.
Yeah, we were masturbating the other day, and no.
Have you seen a ghost?
Yeah, and there was ectoplasm all over my face.
I seen a Scooby-Doo episode like that once. So.
Really? I actually do have a supernatural story. So we're at my old house, which my siblings always swore was haunted, but I never believed them. Mm-hmm. But one day we were downstairs, or I was downstairs with my friend, and we were actually talking about the house being haunted, and we were laughing about it. And as if it was a movie, an open door just slammed shut right after we started talking about if the house was haunted. And we were really young, so we both like started going because we were, scared. We were like in single digits, pretty much. But like the timing of that, it was like it was filmed or something. Like, I don't know if I believe in ghosts, to be honest with you. Like, every culture that's ever existed has believed in ghosts, and they've all been loosely similar in one way or another. So it's like, I don't know if I believe or don't believe. There's definitely something. Even if it's psychological, the fact that all these cultures share that kind of psychological interpretation of what's going on and sees it as ghosts, that's something that is real. I know that.
Well, ghosts or no, Bigfoot is definitely out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a given for sure. I mean, I believe in Bigfoot for sure. I mean, Nessie, I'm not too sure on, but Bigfoot, absolutely. A lot of my show is actually about, like I said, mostly punk and ska music and other bands that I want to turn people onto. But a lot of it is actually, the other half is about horror. Are you guys into horror films at all?
A little bit.
A bit. Horror is definitely my second favorite genre beside comedy. I've only seen really the mainstream horror stuff. I do want to get into that indie side.
What is your favorite and what's the worst horror film you guys have ever seen?
Oh wait, I know.
I've only seen like two.
I
can't
think I
really
know what your answer is going to be.
I don't know what my answer is going to be.
Things Heard and Seen?
That's not really a...
It's not?
Things Heard and Seen, I watched it for like an assignment for school back when I was in high school, and it's pretty much just The Shining, but like kind of a remake and also done really poorly. It's not even bad in the interesting way. It's just boring. So yeah.
What's your favorite?
I guess The Shining.
Really?
I don't
That
know.
made you have a newfound appreciation for it?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty awful when I saw it first, but after Things Heard and Seen, it's really good. It's turning a new leaf.
Turning a new leaf. It's like 50 years old.
Yeah.
Stephen King don't even like Kubrick Shining, so I mean.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
No.
I personally. What about you? What's your least and best favorite horror film?
Well, the first Saw has a special place in my heart because it was the first horror movie I've seen, and it really turned me on to the genre. And I know there are like better horror movies in a bunch of different ways, but like for me, it's Saw because of the place it holds.
See, that's a good. You see, you don't have to explain that to me because like whenever you first see something, I always call it chasing the dragon because like when you see that first film, it doesn't even really have to be horror, but the first film that actually like has meaning to you, like, and then you're constantly spending the rest of your life trying to find shit that will give you that feeling again. And I mean, sometimes it happens, and some 80% of the time, you're just like, no. So I mean, totally understand. I think Saw is quite a solid entry. Now, what's the worst thing you've ever seen?
Worst horror movie that I've seen. Kind of need to explain this because I've gotten hate for this, but the Frankenstein, the really old one from 29, I think, with Lon Chaney.
Oh, the Universal one.
Wait, sorry, not Frankenstein. Phantom of the Opera. That's the one.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And I saw it a few months ago, and it was because I was hearing good things about it, how revolutionary it was, and like how people fainted when they first saw his face. And I watched it, and it was really bad. And I think even by those era of movie standards, like I get that it's important, but they clearly, and this is obviously true, they were clearly new to making films. Like even when I first got a camera, I think I knew things that they didn't. And those were like, teams of adults with like so much money, because I think that was even before the Depression, like money was flowing all over the place. But yeah, it was kind of a letdown, honestly. And not so much bad, but it was a letdown.
I could see how somebody would say that. I mean, I know people that absolutely love the genre and they think, the Universal horror, monster movies are boring. So, I mean, I get that. I mean, plus you're coming off a time where, I mean, people were just coming off of like talkies were a big thing at that time. It used to be moving pictures and words. So, I mean, plus the limited technology. I mean, sure, I can see how people would feel that way. I mean, I watch things that people tell me is heralded as classics, and I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. So I think Citizen Kane's a shitty movie, and I get shit for that all the time.
Yeah.
So I totally get you, man. What's one trend right now that you just do not understand that drives you absolutely bonkers?
You answer first.
Really?
I don't really have an answer here. I don't know what to say.
This is the biggest hipster I know.
Yeah,
I feel like you would have essays to say right now.
Essays?
Just words. All right, whatever. I guess I'll go since, all right. Worst trend. So the thing about me, I don't really follow trends that much. So I guess what I kind of gets me mad is like how people move on from thing to thing more than anything itself. Cause like,
like something's hot for the week and they're into that, and then the next week they're into that, and then it's like they need somebody, they need to be led. I've never either. I'll tell you what drives me fucking crazy when people say what is it? Hoko or whatever the fuck it is for homecoming or my god, shit like that drives me mad, man. Like I have a stepdaughter and she watches TikTok all the time. And I hear all this fucking bullshit they make up and all this stuff, and it just drives me bonkers. And I'm like, then I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, now I'm officially a fucking old fuck because like about all this shit. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, it still pisses me off. I don't care. If I'm a cranky old dude, so be it. So
at least you have taste.
well, thank you, sir. Of course I do. I have Mold the Band on today as my guest. So
Damn right.
there you go. What is the best gift that someone's ever given you?
Or a blowjob? Is that the joke you're looking for here? I don't.
I was actually looking for a legitimate answer, but I mean, you can never go wrong with blowjob.
That's true. I've got a song about it actually. Best gift, probably an instrument I got, because I got a bass and a guitar to record. What do you call it? The album. So, I'm really lucky that like I can have that. That's probably an instrument.
You're sticking with blowjob?
Yeah, sticking with blowjob.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. So, who would you guys pick to play you in a movie if they did a biopic about Mold the Band?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh fuck yeah, that would be perfect. Are we talking like burglar, and like Whoopi Goldberg, or like Sister Act Whoopi Goldberg?
Present day Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, that's even better.
Was she in The Sixth Sense?
I
don't know.
You're thinking of Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
I see how you get them two confused all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I guess I'm not going to do a joke this time. Lonnie's told me before that I would probably have Timmy Chocolate Rain or whatever his
Timothy
name is.
Chalamet.
Yeah. Timmy Chalamet. Yeah. Champagne.
I thought you weren't doing a joke.
No, I don't know. Okay, yeah. Yeah, probably him.
Okay, solid answer. What's one thing that you can't live without?
Oxygen, water, food, shelter.
Blowjob. Yeah, blowjob. Yeah, blowjob.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, in closing, I want you guys to tell me where I can find Mold the Band's music. Where can I find film school sketches in case everybody wants to check them out? And in closing also, can you provide this world with some words of encouragement in this fucked up time we live in?
Okay, we can do that, but we also have something we want to share to you. So this isn't going to be it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So I noticed. So I was watching your show for a while.
Oh God, I apologize. So.
And your intro is like really good. I love it. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is that like beginning part from Jackie Brown?
No, well, yes and no. Actually, Tarantino used that, and in fact, Jackie Brown used that. In fact, in Grindhouse, and that actually came from an old '50s, drive-in reel. But that's where actually he got it from. And I actually love the old drive-in reel because I'm a drive-in fan, and I love Tarantino. So, yes and no. So yeah, actually, in fact, did come from that, but it also came from those other things too. So mostly yes.
Okay.
I'm just glad you liked it. Most people would never even catch that. So
yeah. Well, So interesting thing about that, I noticed it and I saw, hey, that's from Jackie Brown. And I thought that your intro that you have could use a bit more spicing up. So what we did is we made music and a music video for you. As a
serious?
Yeah, we did.
That's fucking awesome. Seriously?
We did. And we can email it to you after this, but we just wanted to let you know.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to send it to you right now then.
I'll be, it's funny because I actually been looking to kind of redo it, re-spruce it up a little bit because I've been using that for a long, long time. So that's fucking awesome. And I've actually asked other people and they just blew me off. So
that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Fuck them, man. Anybody asks me now, I'll be like, you're too late, man. I actually had somebody take care of us now. So fuck you guys right here.
Well, what are you
Holy shit.
I just emailed it to you.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't, I guess I can edit that out. I'm going to check it out here. Hold on. I'm actually excited here. You see here. Ooh. I don't want to I guess this could be a part reaction video too.
You gonna watch it right now?
I got it coming up right now.
All right.
That's what most people say when they're asked about the balls from Ellwood. I fucking love this. Oh my God, I love this. And it's totally mine. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is fun. Holy shit, guys. I have to say, as long as I've been doing this show, this is the most fucking honored I've ever been by a guest. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're going to make me cry.
That's the goal.
Man, that was fucking awesome. I can't believe you took your time to do that. That's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, I have a new theme song now, so.
We did it. We did it.
Starting this coming episode, you're gonna see that. Well, thank you, Cats. Thank you for being a fan. I have a fan now. It feels good. I have a fan. Oh. Thank you for being a fan of the show. Thank you for coming by and talking about your music and sketch comedy. Where, in fact, can we find all this stuff so people can see it?
You can find the music on Lonnie Garrity on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel. Mold the Band, full name of the band, Mold the Band. It's not just Mold. Mold the Band. You can find that on Spotify, on Pandora, on YouTube Music. any mainstream streaming service, music streaming service. Check us out.
Awesome.
Oh, and then the sketch comedy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the actual link to the channel because it's just a bunch of characters, but
Okay.
pretty much just go to YouTube, search Film School Banana Bread, and it's the first channel that shows up.
Yeah, Film School is too generic of a name. Film School Banana Bread will get you there.
Well, when this comes on, I'm gonna put links at, after the show for everybody to check out. So, I have to say, guys, thank you so much for dropping by, and I have to say, you made my fucking day, man. Like, I am completely over the moon. I'm completely honored. So, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. It was a lot of fun. So, thank you for being a guest, and please come back anytime you want. You have carte blanche, an open invitation to the Balls from Ellwood show.
Yeah, maybe we can be callers into the Balls from Ellwood show.
Wow.
You know, I do live shows where people call in occasionally, and that would be fucking awesome. I'll let you know the next time we have one coming up here. I'm probably gonna do one for either Christmas or New Year's. So
nice,
awesome.
Because I like to kind of get a little, little drunk and then call people. And so yeah, keep you posted for sure. We're gonna lock you in. So let you know. We'll see you again at New Year's. And Mold the Band, Film School. Everybody check it out. These are my boys. Love you. Peace.
Love you.
Peace and love.
Peace. Peace.